We are with you. We mourn with you. The passing of Comrade Jane Katjavivi is a great loss, not only to the family, but also to the SWAPO party and the country as a whole. Indeed, in Comrade Jane Katjavivi, the SWAPO party has lost a dependable and apartheid activist, a freedom fighter who went beyond the call of duty to ensure that SWAPO was recognized as the sole authentic representative of the Namibian people, and that Namibia was free and independent. As a writer, editor, and former publisher with an academic background in African studies, she will not only be mourned by Namibia, but by colleagues and comrades on the African continent and in the international progressive movement. A committed gender activist, she relentlessly championed the emancipation and empowerment of women. Her life and work reflected a consistent commitment to advancing literature and the development of a culture of reading to enhance people's broader educational achievements as well as enrich us all culturally. Comrade Jane Katjavivi, in her recently published book, Undisciplined Heart, reflects on her life story and her connection with Namibia, friendship and family, the importance of books and challenges for women. Indeed, born in Leeds in Northern England, Comrade Jane became involved through the church in support of projects in the Third World and the student literature and African studies at the University of Sussex. This brought her into direct contact with students from Southern Africa and led to her involvement in student campaign against apartheid. Later, doing an MA at the University of Birmingham, her first job in the mid-1970s was as a scholarship officer to raise funds for students from Southern Africa who had been denied education on the basis of race or politics. This is how she met Comrade Peter Katjavivi, then SWAPO representative to the UK and Western Europe, and worked with him as an information officer, writing press statements and booklets about Namibian liberation struggle. They fell in love and moved to Oxford, where Comrade Peter Katjavivi studied for his doctorate in Namibian history. They married in 1981 and had a son, Perivi, in 1984, and a daughter, Isabel, in 1988, and moved to the United States, where Comrade Peter Katjavivi was a visiting fellow at Yale University at the time, when talks about Namibia independence restarted. In 1990, Comrade Jane set up New Namibian Books, which focus on Namibian writing, and published 65 books over 10 years, mainly on literature, life stories, history, politics, traditional folk tales, autobiography, academic books, school textbooks, and children's books, but also helped various books development association in Namibia and the continent wide. In 1995, she opened a bookshop in Pole Street Mall, believing passionately that books can liberate our minds and potential, particularly after the cultural isolation under South African rule. In 2003, when Comrade Peter Katjavivi was posted to the European Union and Belgium, and later to Germany as the ambassador for Namibia, Comrade Jane became a wife of a diplomat working on specific programs of cultural exchange and fundraising to assist in disaster relief in developing countries. She was both a tower of strength and pillar of a family. Therefore, in times like this, it is a great comfort that we come together to stand with the bereaved family and give them our support. It is common cause that her family will be poorer without the indispensable wisdom and guidance of this paragon of the belief that the family is the cradle and nurtures our next generation. We remain committed to her legacy of serving our people and taking the country forward. As you carry her to her final resting place, please allow me, on behalf of the veterans of our national liberation struggle, the Nuyoma family, and indeed on my own behalf, to extend our heartfelt condolences and deepest sympathies to Professor Peter Katjavivi, the children Perivi and Isabel, as well as the extended family, loved ones and friends for this untimely loss. Our hearts go out to you as you go through the grief of a loss so overwhelming. It is our wish that you are consoled by the knowledge that the formidable legacy of late Comrade Jane Katjavivi live on, and may you find solace in knowing that your loss is the nation's loss. We wish you strength under this dark cloud, and may you be granted fortitude during this time of bereavement. May the revolutionary spirit of the late Comrade Jane Rosemary Katjavivi continue to guide us as we chart the future destiny of our country. May her soul rest in eternal peace. Signed, Founding President Sam Nujoma, Founding President of the Republic of Namibia. Sound on, please. I just needed to wipe off my tears. This is the second message I'm reading. We are only reading 3 messages, but there are many, many messages. But we just selected these 3 to read, and later we move on to the messages as they are being delivered. This is a message, Office of the Former President. Professor Peter Katjavivi, Speaker of the National Assembly, message of condolence. It is with deep sadness and sorrow that Madame Penehipifo and I have learned of the sudden passing away of your dear wife, Jane Katjavivi, on Tuesday 9, August 2022. Jane Katjavivi will be remembered as a gentle and kind woman who has taken keen interest in Africa through her studies and work. She has, while in her native land, demonstrated great compassion and care for our people during the difficult time of our struggle. As a wife and mother, Jane has been by your side for more than 40 years and has been your pillar of support, strength, and source of wisdom to you and the children. Namibia acknowledges her hard work and valuable contribution to the reading culture in Namibia through her writing and publishing work, which centered on Namibia stories and tales. She will be sorely missed, and may her love for her family, country, and her work serve as a strong bond among the Katjavivi family, and may you find strength and solace in her teachings and advices going forward. Our thoughts and prayers are with you and the family as you attempt to come to terms with the untimely departure of your beloved wife, mother, and grandmother. On behalf of my family and indeed on my own behalf, I wish to express our heartfelt condolences and most sincere sympathies to you personally, the children, and the whole bereaved family at this difficult time of mourning. May her soul rest in eternal peace. Ifikepunye Pohamba, former president. This one is from SADC Parliamentary Forum, and it's addressed to you, Professor Peter Katjavivi. Dear Honorable Speaker Katjavivi, expression of deepest and most profound commiserations on behalf of the SADC Parliamentary Forum. It is with sheer sadness and regret that we have to come to hear of the unfortunate demise of your spouse, Madam Jane Katjavivi. On behalf of the SADC Parliamentary Forum and its staff, and indeed on my own behalf, I wish to express my deepest and most profound commiserations in this trying moment. I hope that you will find solace with the knowledge that your spouse has been a renowned editor and publisher, and that she has left a staunch legacy as a memorable leader who has fearlessly promoted women advancement and empowerment in Southern Africa and beyond. We wish you strength, fortitude, and courage in this time of grief. On this solemn note, please accept the assurances of my highest consideration. Yours sincerely, Honorable Boso Kodia Pwanga Christophe, Speaker of the National Assembly of DRC, President of SADC Parliamentary Forum. Now, with those three messages of condolences read, we also have received some additional ones, which I will not read the messages, but I will read the names of the people who sent them. We as a family have received these condolence messages from the following. Right Honorable Dr. Sarah Kugongelwa Madela, Prime Minister. Nosisiwe Mpisa Gakula, Speaker of the National Assembly of the Republic of South Africa. Honorable Emma Phyllis, Deputy Minister of MICT. Honorable Hamunyera Hadiuka, on behalf of the SWAPO National Assembly Caucus. Honorable Gerard Shimi, Chief Whip, SWAPO Parliamentary Office, National Council. His Excellency Berlin M. Tuhun, Ambassador of the Republic of Turkey. Mr. DJ Fori, Chairperson on behalf of the Capricorn Group Limited. His Excellency Mrs. Fenjiwe Mtiso, High Commissioner of the Republic of South Africa, together with staff. Her Excellency Mrs. Jessica P. Long, Charge d'Affaires of the Embassy of the United States of America. His Excellency Mr. Alberto de Calle, Ambassador of the Kingdom of Spain on behalf of the Government of the People, and Mr. Bugert Brandt, Chairman of the Executive Committee of Council of Churches of Namibia, CCN, on behalf of the CCN members. I will read 10 of them, and later I will read another 10, not to bore you with the list of names. May I now call on the messages and tributes in person. A message on behalf of friends. Phyllis Johnson will do it for us. Thank you.
Excellency, Comrade Vice President Mbumba and Madam Mbumba, Honorable Speaker, all protocols observed, but I want to acknowledge all of you who are gathered here to honor Jane Katjavivi. My name is Phyllis Johnson. I'm coming from Zimbabwe to pay tribute to my friend, my comrade and colleague, Jane Katjavivi. You may not know that Jane Katjavivi's influence extended far beyond the borders of Namibia, and that her networks of friends and professional colleagues reached throughout Southern Africa and the continent of Africa. She built bonds of friendship, love, and respect throughout, and shared her professional knowledge while learning from others. There is an extensive network of close people mourning her loss who cannot be with us today, but are nearby in spirit. It's therefore my privilege and duty to convey to her beloved husband and family, and to all Namibians, the sense of loss and love coming from the African publishers whom she worked with before and after she established New Namibia Books. She was a thoughtful and creative presence at every edition of the Zimbabwe International Book Fair, which was established by my late husband, David Martin, who passed away 15 years ago today. The love and respect of the African publishers is conveyed by Walter Bagoya of Mkuki na Nyota Publishers in the United Republic of Tanzania, who recalls most recently the visit by Peter and Jane in 2019, when he was able to show them around some of the places familiar to Peter when he was in exile with SWAPO and served as the deputy SWAPO representative in Dar es Salaam in the 1960s. And Jane was there to share this experience. Condolences also from Henry Chikava in Kenya, who was another close colleague from East African Educational Books. They send their much love. I have also to convey the deep sense of loss felt by all colleagues at the Southern African Research and Documentation Center, SARDIC, based in Harare, who send thoughts and prayers to Honorable Katjavivi, who is our esteemed SARDIC board chairman. Jane supported and encouraged our work, shared our achievements and challenges, and she leaves a gap that cannot be filled. But we're blessed to have the warm and comforting recollections, such as our visit together in 2019 to the birthplace of our founding patron, Mulimu Julius Nyerere. The SARDIC Executive Director, Monetsi Madikufamba, recalls how Jane welcomed him so warmly into their home in Brussels when they represented Namibia there some years ago. He sends his warm thoughts. And then I want to add something from myself in tribute to my close friend, and it's about crossing borders. There is a beautiful work of art that hangs in her house, painted by her daughter Isabel. This image was very special to Jane. It's called Crossing Borders. And that is the deep essence of my remembrance. Jane crossing borders, not only physical, although she crossed many borders, oceans, mountains, and rivers. She also crossed other boundaries, social, political, economic. She was a girl from Yorkshire in England who believed in freedom, worked for the liberation of Namibia in Africa, where she settled with her husband after achieving that goal and continued to work to build the nation. She started new things where there were none, publishing and book sales as New Namibia Books, publishing as UNAM Press. She was one of the founders of a continental organization called the African Book Publishers Network, and a distribution trust called the African Books Collective. And she played a significant role in conceiving those and bringing them to fruition. I could go on for a long time about her achievements. You've heard some of them already, in crossing borders and building relations across borders, and how much she inspired so many others to continue to do that, including, but not only, her children and grandchildren. And when she left us, she was crossing borders again. But I will stop here and just remind you in closing of the proverb and the reality that it takes a village to raise a child. So I want to thank the Coles family, past and present, for Rosemary Jane. Now that I've met her sisters and brother, I can see where she came from. They're like her. And they and their parents gave us Jane as a young woman. And I want to thank the Katjavivi family, all of them, for surrounding her with their traditional warmth and love. And the Swapo family, for guiding her into the proud Namibian that she became. Much love to all of her family, all of her and friends in Namibia and elsewhere in Africa and Europe, and I have to say, throughout the world. She had friends everywhere. Thank you, Jane. We love you.
Thank you.